Hello, and welcome back to the Marketing SOS Show. And if you're new to the show, this is the show where I act as your marketing coach to the audience. If you have any marketing questions, issues, advice, if you're a student that needs some help on guidance of where to go with your career, if you're a seasoned marketer, brand manager, product marketer, and need a sounding board, I'm happy to help. Or if you're a small business that can't afford a marketing team, needs some advice, I am here for you. I got your back. And on this week's show, we got an email from Samantha, who is trying not to fumble her first client and looking for some advice. Sounds like she's doing some freelance marketing in her local area. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to kind of step back and look at what we're currently working on. Maybe it's something that we are completely used to, and it's like our bread and butter. We don't even think twice about it. Or maybe it's a new project. But whatever it is, I kind of want you to stop, breathe, take a step back and look at it from your perspective, from the perspective of the others, and just kind of reevaluate it. I always think it's really beneficial to get some space, not be running 110 miles an hour all the time at these projects, but really sit back and think about it. Is this the best way to approach it? Is this the best strategy? I always get a ton of benefit from sitting and reflecting on issues and problems, so I encourage you to do so as well. And with that, let's hear from Samantha. Samantha writes, "Hey Eric, I'm trying not to fumble my first client, who is a big deal for me. I want to know what topics should I hit on when speaking to them. I was approached to put together a marketing plan and strategy for a small insurance agency, and I want to know what things I should focus on. Any guidance you have will be great. Thank you." So first of all, Samantha, congratulations. Landing your first client is a big deal, and it should be. You're potentially bringing this new business to the next level of success. So have fun. It is incredibly exciting. Congratulations. And you're right not to want to fumble it, because this could lead to so many new opportunities for you down the road. So the one thing you need to do right away is find out what their values are. What are their goals? Because if you don't know their goals and their values, I don't know how you can possibly craft a strategy to hit them. So before you make your pitch, you should really do some fact finding and look for some information on what their goals are, what kind of values they are, what kind of voice do they want to have with their customers, how do they want to be perceived, what mediums or channels are they currently using. Another thing you're going to have to ask is, what does their spend or budget look like? Is this a one-off campaign that you're helping them with? Is it for the whole year? Is it an ongoing strategy? Plenty of questions. The one thing you don't want to have is some kind of disconnect where you promise them the moon and then they give you like a $500 budget or a $1,500 budget that you can't possibly make all those things you just promised happen. So figure out what the budget is and give them something realistic. And who knows, maybe they don't even want a budget. They just want a general strategy. And then you could propose a strategy and some budget numbers next to it. So I may be stereotyping a little bit here, but in the insurance industry, I automatically assume especially if it's a smaller local business, I assume they're fairly conservative. Or maybe not as progressive in terms of where they're at with their marketing. Not necessarily conservative or progressive political values or anything like that. Just in terms of where their familiarity is with marketing. So with that, from what I've seen, the word social is still very much a buzzword, especially with non-marketers. So you want to make sure you have some kind of social strategy for them in your pitch. Probably focus on awareness of their brand and generating qualified leads for them through social. Those should be good little strategies you could implement. And one question I would ask too is, will you have access or the ability to change their website or create landing pages for them? This will probably completely change how you approach things. So if you're running a campaign and it's going just to their homepage and you can't have a dedicated landing page, you should really look at how you're approaching those campaigns. So analytics and reporting, being an insurance agency, they definitely like their numbers. So commit to providing them with analytics or reporting on how the campaign's going. Commit to updating them on stats and your progress, and make sure you hit whatever schedule it is that you're promising. It's never good to miss your schedule without a very, very good reason. If you don't know already, Samantha, make your pitch into a PowerPoint or some other presentation software and present it to them. Give them a PDF handout that they can have to review on their own and have it ready to go when you go to present. Ideally, a smart presentation tactic is don't give them the PDF or the handout at the beginning of the presentation because they won't listen to you. They'll just be looking down and reading it. But give it to them at the end that they can take away and review it. Now, if you can find case studies of what other insurance agencies are doing that might support your strategy, that would be great too. It's always good to back up a strategy showing what a company's competitors are doing as a way to kind of entice them to follow along with what you're presenting. Now, you should also decide whether your strategy and your pitch is just hard marketing tactics, or if you want to help them build their brand, revamp their visuals, etc. Many people and companies don't actually know the difference between branding, marketing, and advertising. A lot of them think it's all the same thing. They are likely interested in getting their name out there and getting qualified leads coming to them from their marketing. So these are two areas I would focus on, is awareness and getting qualified leads or qualified clients into their store, into their storefront, or on the phone with their agents. Now, to really hit all the notes, Samantha, you could always divide up your presentation into a digital strategy, a traditional strategy, maybe even an event strategy, and potentially even a new print collateral strategy if you think their print needs refreshing or that print would be an effective medium for them. So Samantha, I hope that helped. That's all the advice I have for you this week. So Samantha, I hope that helps, and if there's anything else I can do for you, or if I think of anything else, I'll definitely reach out to you via the email address that you sent me. I think it's always fun when you're working with clients that are particularly non-marketers. I think we get so wrapped up in how we communicate amongst each other and people and know that it can be difficult to take a step back and kind of slow things down and kind of talk in layman's terms. I mean, it's easy to kind of say, okay, I'm going to do content marketing for you, social media marketing, blah, 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 blah. But you do need to take a step back and explain to people why they want those things, what the benefits are, how other companies utilize them in order to get them to buy into your strategy. So just think about that when you kind of step back and look what kind of stakeholders you're engaging with in order to convey the right messaging to them, because you don't want them to walk out of the meeting not knowing what the heck you were talking about and not signing on to your proposal. So with that, thank you so much for listening to the show this week. I truly appreciate your time. I know there's so many other things you could be doing with it. So the fact that you wanted to listen to the Marketing SOS show means the world to me. And please, if I can repay you by answering any of your questions, your issues, or even just your lingering doubts, please shoot me an email at eric@marketingsos.ca, and I'll do my very best to answer your question on an upcoming episode of the show. So with that, thank you so much. Have a good evening, good night, whatever time it is. Have a good one.